Hello everyone, and welcome to this discussion on integrating food system transformation into ESG investment strategies. Before I start, I want to acknowledge that while I am here joining you in this virtual space, in the physical world, I am joining from land that was in the custodianship of the Gayamagal people at the time of European settlement in Australia, and I pay my respects to them and their elders past and present. Now we have here today a very impressive lineup of speakers to talk to this topic from a variety of different perspectives, and I'm really looking forward to hearing their thoughts and learning from all of them. V, I might start with you. You're the Principal Strategist at the Forum for the Future, where you're working to address some of the world's most pressing sustainability challenges. So on behalf of all beings alive today and those yet to be born, thanks very much for doing that. You've identified food system transformation as one of these sustainability challenges that you're focusing on. What led you and the Forum for the Future to identify and focus on this issue?
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure to join you all today. At Forum, we currently have our strategies that we look at 3 transition areas that we're working across our geographies on. They're namely being food transition, energy transition, and the role of business in the economy. So obviously today's conversation is around the food dimension. And we look at transitions with a systemic lens and using foresight or futures thinking and processes. And you know what we've seen is that food sits at the nexus and the intersection of a multitude of current and future problems and issues as a result of current extractive processes, as well as potential climate impacts and the full severity of which we are really quite uncertain, right? So this will have an immense pressure on our current food systems and the production practices that we currently have. And we need to ensure that our food system is going to be future fit and that it's resilient in the face of all these immense pressures and challenges. And for Forum, we focus on areas where within these transitions, where there is a momentum build up, and there's potential to change the system one way or another. And our concern at the moment is that developments within the food system, as wonderful as they are, may not factor in all the full unintended consequences of new innovations that are currently happening. And we see that a lot, you know, particularly within Asia, in protein innovation. And if you think of this systemically, then this has wide-ranging consequences, obviously. And there has been a large focus at the moment on decarbonisation in both the food and the energy transitions. But what about the other issues, such as land rights or smallholder livelihoods? What about affordable and accessible nutrition? These are all things that need to be considered if you're going to create a future fit system. And you know, our food system needs basically reimagining and remodelling. Within Southeast Asia, we have a huge reliance, for instance, on agriculture in terms of GDP, and also livelihoods of a very, very large number of smallholder farmers. And these things need to be factored in. We're also highly dependent on water and agriculture. And, you know, we have growing populations, particularly within Southeast Asia, with rising incomes, which basically equates to, obviously, you know, higher protein consumption, and particularly in the red meats, which has a higher, you know, emissions impact and deforestation, biodiversity loss, etc., from expanding lands. You know, and in response to this, Forum basically launched what we called the Protein Challenge Southeast Asia in 2021. And it was to try to address these challenges by bringing together a diverse group of actors across the full value chain and helping them to create a shared vision of what a future fit system ought to look like. And by applying systems thinking, which is what we really do, and acknowledging that their role as stewards of the system, this is something that is, it has to be a collective address because it's a collective problem. You know, so out of this process comes opportunities, obviously, to collaborate. And as I said, it's a collective address, and that's really quite key in terms of what we do. Yeah.